And we're live. Hello.
Hello.
Let's
Hello,
do
everybody.
it. Happy Monday. It's Halloween Eve.
Really glad you had me on.
Welcome to the Dungeon
Thank
Cooldown.
you for having me here.
Everyone, we've got Keira Knightley and Keith Richards.
What am I, 70?
Yeah, that's right.
You're an old
Bizarrely enough,
rocker. Yeah.
Keith Richards has become the least problematic person I could have said with that accent.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Dungeon Cooldown. This is your companion show to the Dungeon Run. You know what we're here to do. It's so good to see you all. We are so excited for Wednesday's return of the Stormborn. Whoop, whoop.
Yes, yes. It's going to be awesome.
That I reached out to Adam and Kari and I was like, hey, let's get together and let's figure out exactly what's going on before we dive in on Wednesday and die.
Yeah.
No, it'll be fine. But first, I wanted to say thank you so much again to everybody that helped us with Wednesday's adventure, not the least of which Adam Sleman, our incredible first-time DM.
Ooh, so good.
Many people.
No, it's all y'all. It's all y'all.
People are saying, Adam. Many people were very surprised that it was your first time DMing.
Well, in fairness,
Well, it was your first
DM'd
time on
before.
camera.
First time DMing
Yeah.
on stream, I should say.
Yes,
I should
exactly.
say.
That's
Yes.
very true.
But you were so natural. Even just how you use the camera, how you did such a great job. And so
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
You guys are good. I mean, you guys are such a pleasure to play, to run for. And it's also interesting because you guys already have a group dynamic. Like,
right.
Oftentimes when you're running a game, people are like, "Who the fuck are? Who are you? Who am I?" You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I saved it.
We gotta get back into this.
Yeah, right. But yeah, and you guys having a pre-existing, rapport goes a super long way.
Yeah.
Because it also makes it easier. Like, one of the hardest things, obviously, for a new campaign is getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, trying to give you guys the opportunity to role play before I introduce Lucky Ned, as opposed to just throwing Lucky Ned into the mix. And because y'all know each other, and I gave you guys the premise of being beautiful, you guys naturally just fell into a rhythm. It was great.
I loved what you did with the one-shot structure, and I actually am surprised. I think more people should do it, which is you sort of so clearly gave us we created our characters, but then you gave us a very clear, like, joint backstory that was like, here's your guy's problem right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah.
And maybe that's not right for every party. As you said, we know each other. We're improvisers. We're all hot, and then we have stalkers, basically. Got it.
I mean, I think it's fun because, like, as an actor, as an improviser, as a D&D player, like, it's so much more fun to work within the box.
Yes.
As opposed to just trying to force people into, the box that you've created without talking to them. So it's just like, let's make it super simple. You're all beautiful.
Or for even a one shot to be about just figuring out what the box is.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to waste
too much time. Yeah.
Let's just go. Let's say, because I wanted to get to all the stuff, and we got through all the stuff I wanted to get through. So
Awesome.
I'm like, great.
Oh, good.
That was
I do really wish that they would have turned into vampires. I wish we all would have turned into vampires.
So
None
close.
of y'all were supposed to go down
So
there.
close.
Those are like
we weren't
that's
even
a
supposed to
level
go down. Oh, okay.
No, not really. I mean, yes, you could have, of course. You have that option to. But the idea is, like, that's a level 13 creature. Y'all are level 3. You know what I mean? And so I was like, they're not going to go down there. It's a vampire.
Like 100 and something hit points or something.
144.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
It's like,
and resistant to most things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there going, oh, these guys are all experienced D&D players. And what I honestly wanted to impart is, like, the danger of the situation.
Sure.
Like, get out of here, don't stay, run away. But, like, more Ron decided to be like, I want to be a vampire. I was like, oh, all right. I mean,
they're like,
you guys made that choice.
We could get turned. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't counting on the vampires. Let's go.
No. I mean, I would love to see a badger vampire. I think that would be amazing.
I mentioned that on the short rest. I was gonna say I mentioned that on the short rest that for a few when I was down to 3 hit points and I was like This is not something I expected to play this character as a vampire. Oh my god, how do I do that? Yeah, that would have been very fun. But I am glad he survived. He lived to cuddle another day.
Yes, he did.
It's fascinating to me though that you designed a game that has such a high level character that we weren't supposed to go down there, but you still had created it. Is that?
Yeah. Well, what I did was, I basically took the vampire stats and I just put them to the side. And initially I was like, okay, so these people are all thralls to him, or they're all, indebted to him in some way. So what type of person would that be? And I just made a really bold, very baseline thing.
Yeah.
And then Josephine comes down, and Josephine is a very strong player who, because they made the choice to be kind of like this suave person, I'm like, okay, so the vampire's suave too.
Right.
And he's a little,
It just did a mirroring thing that was very cool. Yep. Yeah, and it allowed for that fantastic scene. What's the line that you said? This may sound weird as a vampire, but you're coming on a little thirsty.
Yeah. I consider the whole one shot a success because of that line.
That's so good. Yeah. Just wrap it up. Like, we're good. Credits. Yeah, that is actually one.
And I can't believe how much money we raised.
Thank you so much to our community and to the audience. I know the Make-A-Wish people were so thrilled. It was the first time that we'd done any stuff with them, and we exchanged wonderful messages afterwards. They had such a great time.
I got such an awesome email from their guy, and it's like, I can't wait to keep working with them. They're great.
Yeah, we were over $3,600, and I don't know if you guys saw this. I mentioned it in the Discord. Dungeon Speedrun at the last minute gave the proper amount of money to make our final total $30,636.36. He gave us an aesthetically pleasing final total, which I was like,
amazing.
I respect.
Which makes a lot of sense for the beautiful people that we are.
That's right,
and especially in the game.
Can't just
got to be aesthetically pleasing.
I'm one of those weird number people. No surprise to our community. I'm one of those weird number people who like constantly looking for palindromic numbers or repeating numbers. I'm weird like that. My brain is a strange place. Anyway, that is actually one of our first questions, though, that you mentioned, Adam, from Tapartos, who asked anything from the Halloween one shot you didn't get to do that you wanted to. But it sounds like no. Sounds like we clean sweeped it, baby.
It's tough because I built too many NPCs, and that was the one thing about it I regretted, because what I should have done is taken all those NPCs that were following you and make one creep. And that one creep was obsessed with all of you. And then I think like there could have been more interaction and things. And the other thing Tapartos would have loved to have done is get even more funnily gruesome with the injuries that like the children had sustained. Like I got the one that Kari treated where like the blood's just spurting. I think that's hilarious.
I just thought it was so funny, and we were really edging, like really towing that edge, because it was like this was for a children's story.
I was gonna say
and we were just
I think you made the right decision.
Yeah.
And we were all like, we don't want to be around kids.
There was a certain point where I was looking around like, oh boy. I'm mouthing, I'm sorry, to make a wish at the camera or something. No, it's fine.
Kari, when you threw the child, just about lost it.
A vampire child who was fine afterwards.
Right. Oh yeah, but like I love the idea that the wolf like starts to attack you, sees you throw the child, and be like, "Whoa, man, no."
I'm a savage creature of the night. That's messed up.
One of my feats, I guess, is thrown weapons.
Yes. Yeah. There's your fighting style. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, my fighting style.
Love that.
It's so funny.
Kari, I can't believe you made it through the whole show wearing that helmet and wig. I mean,
dude,
it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Every clip with you in it, I'm like, God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I was so tickled that it got there early because I had ordered it a little late, and it was supposed to come the day after our show, and so I was like, I couldn't believe it showed up that day, but also like. The audience doesn't know, but I usually have a fan under the table because it's so hot in the studio sometimes. But I think with the smaller table, it feels like there's more airflow just everywhere.
It's absolutely true. No,
Because there's
yeah,
more space
yeah.
behind us, and yeah, so I was glad that I didn't
We're a
like
little less
dive
tightly
deep
packed. Yeah,
in that
Well, plus all
weird.
the lights are LEDs, which go a long way,
right.
Sure,
to
yeah,
making it
yeah,
cooler.
yeah,
But yeah, totally.
And
yeah,
now it's
yeah.
also October when versus like when we ended the last chapter in July, you know, so it's
Yeah.
like a
Oh,
little difference there too.
oh,
Yeah.
believe me,
Yeah.
Cristobal knows that it's sweater weather. All right, he's well aware of the fact that it's
Oh,
sweater weather.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the
Oh my
sweaters, the
gosh.
Cristobal sweaters. It's going to be amazing.
Oh boy.
Oh gosh. No, it was so much fun, and we knew, like, you know, when we wanted to do the charity thing, and we knew it was going to come right before we wanted to start back up the Stormborn, and so we were like, let's just get the band back together and let's just have a blast. Because yeah, it's rare when you can. There's almost always one shots. You're playing with a bunch of new people and all this stuff, as we have tended to be every time we do a, you know, whether it was the family at the end of the last chapter or anything. It's like we definitely like to hold hands and jump into the abyss together. we 100% did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it had been a while since all of us had gotten together.
Hmm.
Because like we hang out outside of the
But
show,
we were
but it
missing
had been
each
a
other
while because
hardcore.
people were,
Yeah.
yeah, people were traveling and
Serena
whatnot
was
for quite
traveling
a
and whatnot.
while.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
Josephine, yeah. So anyway, it was just really, really nice to like all of a sudden just like you just snap right into some kind of weird stew.
Yeah. Right into the weird stew.
Right. Well,
That's
and
absolutely
it's
true.
great because we all know how to share focus with each other
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like once you first start to learn to play, like there are people who have different energy levels who tend to drift in and out
Yeah.
depending on like their personality type. But now that like I know how Kari plays, now we know how to pimp Kari. Now we know how to pimp Morgan
Yeah.
into stuff, which is just hilarious.
Yeah, it was that was so much fun, and I trust you all so great, and it was so much fun seeing with Broken Ring as well. That cast was of such a different dynamic energy, but we talked about it so much, how it all just sort of magically fit so well, where it was like Kristoff stepped into this green, you know, like absolutely like new green in the face like paladin who's like, what's going on, and everybody else was the seasoned adventurers looking at him going like, oh boy. You know, and so it is very fun to see it, different chemistries with different parties and how they work. And
Very
yeah, and I can't wait for.
And I don't really know about those characters from the Broken Ring very much as far as like where they fit into the storyline. I know I had asked you and Ron, I was like, should I be like
I
really watching all of them? And you guys are like, no, maybe you
I
shouldn't
don't
because of it
sp-
Oh,
being
I
the
don't want to watch them.
Feywild.
not to
Yeah, I don't
spoil
want to watch
Yeah,
them.
anything
yeah.
specifically for you, Carrie. I don't think you should.
Okay. So
I
that's
know a couple
wonderful.
things from the last couple episodes, specifically the epilogue, that I
Hmm.
will not tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all watching at home don't know this, but even when Morgan isn't playing, he's just sitting behind the camera with popcorn, like doing this in the studio. Just
Oh,
yeah.
they do. Yeah, no, I shared multiple photos, and I think after the last epilogue with just Rachel and Jared, we weren't planning to do a short rest that day, and we got done, and I said, "We're doing a short rest. I need to ask you some questions." I was like, "Turn the cameras back on, Sean."
Yeah.
That was a blast. Yeah, no, it was so good. But no, there are. I will say Rachel's Queen Mab was incredible, and so when you
Mm.
do get the chance to watch, look out for that. Rachel's performance as Queen Mab was. Mwah.
Will it make sense at all for any of those characters to maybe like sub in or like come and join us at the table, or just like timeline wise that does not
No
like work
comment.
probably?
No comment.
Okay. Cool,
I
cool.
personally don't know what Ron and Rachel have planned. I will say that Ron and Rachel have gelled like this in terms of what they're scheming, and like literally they threw all their wood onto the fire and it became like a even bigger bonfire of stuff. So I have no idea what
Super
they have in
cool.
mind. But I, yeah, short answer, I could see that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was super interesting, and there's also, you know, some stuff about Yuri, Rillian, Rhea, Narelle, their backstory that is a little clearer to me, but still so many questions. There was a portion of one episode where Ron jumped in. That was a very big moment that I specifically sat out of because I was like, I'm not going to watch this because I feel like this is very spoilery for me personally. But yes, yeah. Black Kakari says, I would definitely struggle not to meta. You all handle that freakishly well. I mean, I just gotten used to it by this point. I'm basking in the secrets of just like not, I don't want to know things if I don't have to.
Yeah. Same.
Because then, I mean, which sometimes it allows the audience to be a little tougher on. It's like, how could you not blah, blah, blah? And I was like, trust me, if you didn't know, you wouldn't have either, because I didn't know.
Sure.
It seems like things just sort of magically do fall in place after a while, where it's like, a player doesn't know about that, but then they just happen to do that exact thing, and it's like, what?
Right. Or in a way that you could have never, like, backdoor it in a way that you're like, wow, that was not how I expected you to get there, but you did. That can just happen sometimes. Yeah, that's so true. Well, we have some questions leading us up to this week on Wednesday. Another one from Tapartos. What are each of you looking forward to the most and least about Val's home, about basically the destination where we're headed next? We're going to Mechas, we know that. If memory serves, we're going to be a little bit outside of Lunaris, which is Val's kind of hometown, but it's only like something like a day away apparently to where Cristobal's mom is. So what are we looking forward to most, and what are we dreading?
I'll go first.
I think go ahead. Go ahead.
Everybody answer at once.
Three things. One, I'm super excited for Cristobal to be back on his home turf, which is like the metropolitan area, as opposed to being in like the woods.
Right.
Two, I want to play Pygmalion with Coco. Like, I think it's gonna be really fun to take Coco, who is like a rustic, kind of impulsive person, and be like,
you're gonna be Henry Higgins and she's gonna be Eliza Doolittle. Oh boy.
What was the thing you said?
That's amazing.
They like, put these rocks in your mouth.
Put these rocks in your mouth.
I think that's gonna be fun.
That's
the
great.
Last thing is trying to either hide or protect or sneak Otto around, because Otto is the first, oh my gosh, I can't even think of what they're called now. When they're a creature that is also
Animus?
Oh, the first Animus.
Thank you.
Oh, good point.
You guys, points for me.
Nice, nailed it.
Seriously, Kari, nicely done.
Good point. I mean, there aren't exactly a lot of elves
years
around on our island either.
No, but they do exist.
Right.
Like, is it rare that they come to town? Sure, but there are no Animus here. They haven't been for over 300 years. In fact,
but why?
Because the islands have been separated by the storms.
So it's not because they were like vanished or something.
Well, there's also the argument to be made that a lot of people may not even know about the Animus, because I can't 100% remember the timeline, but it's possible that the Animus were created after the separation of the islands.
I think you're right on that. Well, I know, for instance, just in the Ursula Scratch one shot, a new Animus was created. I mean, the crab people were created just at the end of that adventure.
Right.
So I think that's true. I think the Animus, Ron might correct me, but I think the Animus are more recent. But you're right. I mean, like, where we're going is Dragonborn, Asimar, Tiefling, Gith, and humans. And some kobolds and a few others, but none really of the Animus folk. So what would that be like if, just walking down the street one day and a 3-foot tall talking owl is walking down the street?
And you're talking about a city that's known for its magic, and we're talking about, like, would they just dissect Otto, given the opportunity to do it?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
I'm not saying we'd let them do it. I'm saying given the opportunity.
No, you heard it here first, folks. Cristobal wants to sell Otto to science.
For me, I think that I'm looking forward to seeing Val interact in their
You want to see me squirm?
habitat.
Is what you want to
Yeah,
do.
kind of with their family dynamic. And also it might be one of the things I'm not looking forward to the most because because Val is so emotional and so like
How dare
that I just sort of wonder. I mean, you guys know, like Coco sometimes is like, "What is your deal, man?" Like,
Right?
You're about to find out.
yeah, but I think that for Coco, I think I'll understand a lot more after that. I'm also looking forward to seeing Adam's character know something about this world. And I think it's going to be the most we're not seeing more animus around,
Right.
or not having things be. It's sort of like being in Catholic church. Like when when I've gone with my friends, I definitely am like, oh, I don't know the rules. Like I don't know when to stand up, or I don't know really what to say back.
Do I stand? Do I
Yeah,
sing?
kind of like so in a metropolitan sort of setting, I just sort of wonder how that will be, because it seems like it'll be interesting. Does Val like stand up straighter, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like, does he become more verklempt, or does he like do you know what I mean? Or less, and he's more like,
Sure.
who knows? But it'll be so interesting to see like what those people, how they interact and like what their system is.
Episode 2, Cristobal's going to be like, the rain in Spain is mainly on the plane.
The first thing I'm doing is taking all of you shopping. I mean, the first thing I'm
oh
doing.
My gosh, I'm so excited.
We don't have that much money, do we? I mean, maybe we do.
You don't think you do, but I have money.
Oh, I did not know this. Fantastic.
Yeah, Moneybags Cristobal.
Yeah, you'll see.
The biggest questions for me first one is time. How much time has passed? Because it was implied when we arrived at the Hanging Gardens that Saint had only been gone for a couple weeks from the time that she was whisked out. But it was implied by Ron and Jared that might not be the same for everybody. So I think the conflict for Val right away is going to be this wanting to be careful, not wanting to put anybody in danger, but oh my God, is my family okay? What happened to my ex-fiance? And what happened? Because it was already like that. That was what made my session 0 so traumatic. It was my nightmare of discovering that all these people that you care about, everything has gone bad for them, and then you are pulled out so you can't do a single thing about it to help anybody.
Sure.
And that just made my people-pleasing tendencies, go through the freaking roof, and just feeling helpless and crazed about that. And that was, and it was a journey for Val to stop and be like, how I can help is by staying here and doing this and helping everybody. And now it's led us back here. But the curiosity is gonna kill me if I don't find out, so what was happening was Val's family was kind of getting into financial ruin. His sister implied that things were starting to turn around, and there were a couple guys who at his house that I didn't really get to talk to, who definitely seemed to be having some sort of shady financial situation with his family. Don't know what happened there. But his mom was kind of starting to lose her mind a little bit, and then the issue with the fiance with Strix, who was about to get married to somebody else. And again, Val, it's not really a pining situation. Val had written that off, and he had left town because he's like, all right, you're never going to choose me over your family. I understand it. So I'm just going to make it easier for both of us and take off.
Sure, you can write that off, but then you see your ex again. I mean, I don't need to tell any of us what that's like. Yes.
And you want to make sure that you look real good.
Well, don't worry. I'll take care of that, buddy.
But that's the other thing too, is let's not forget Val had a little bit of a glow up in the last episode. He's all shiny, scaly boy now.
It's
Oh
true.
yeah.
Thanks to the dragonhide feat, I don't need to wear armor at all anymore. I can just wear some cool clothes, and I still have 17 armor class.
Val is basically naked.
That's why
I'd wear some pants.
Yeah, but Cristobal's going to make sure they're like short pants. You know what I mean? Like really form-fitting short pants.
Yeah.
Val's been doing squats. Incredible.
Look, we haven't role-played eating a lot. I'm sure we're all real trim.
That's a good point.
I mean, I don't know about. I mean, I think Coco's been eating this whole time.
none of us needed food in the City of Glass. That was the weirdest part about it.
Yeah.
You don't need to eat or sleep. What?
We get some good bread blobs when we get there.
Oh, the
Looking
bread.
forward to some bread blobs.
We're gonna be back in organic territory. I mean, that's nice for Coco for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, we're in City of Glass where everything was inorganic.
Oh yeah, but now we're going to your city. But I mean, are metropolitan cities really considered organic?
But at least you'll be able to find some
granite.
dirt, and you'll be able to find like some like actual real like tangible stuff that isn't crushed glass or
Good
whatever
point, good point.
that Ron
Yeah.
would, however Ron would describe it. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think, but yeah, so it is looking forward to and dreading all of it. What about Cristobal's mom?
Oof.
Are you looking forward
So
to that?
here's
Or are
the
you
thing
dreading it?
about. Well, no, I mean, I'm really looking
Wait.
forward to it. But go ahead.
Wait, so the last thing that we saw, or one of the last things that we saw, wasn't it like the clouds parted and we saw Cristobal's mother at the edge of like a lake? Wait, am I
Yes, no, you're
remembering
not wrong.
something
This
far
is
back?
right.
Okay.
This is right. Where
Okay.
Medulon.
We didn't see my mother. We saw where she lives.
Correct.
Oh, I thought that was your mom.
No, I think we did see a Genasi folk.
No, I don't remember seeing
All right, maybe I'm wrong.
a person, because if Cristobal saw his mother, like actually saw who she was, I think there would have been a
Sure.
big reaction.
Okay.
I
mean,
as
there was a
Wait,
lot
do you
going
not
on.
know who your mom is?
No, never. Oh, Carrie, we got to catch you up.
Yeah. I've never known who my mother
Remember,
is.
there was a memory wipe where Cristobal and his dad don't remember her at all. Their memories
That's right.
So literally
That's
for
right.
Cristobal's dad, he literally woke up one morning, didn't have a partner, and now had like a toddler or whatever.
Okay, but it's not like he's never met her. It's just that your memory was wiped, so you don't remember.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean-
There's like a slight difference. Like you
Sure,
might,
of
There was
course.
an implication
Anyway.
that there was someone here. I mean, it's almost like how black holes where you can't actually see it, but you can tell by its effect on other people. It's like this kid
Right.
had to come from somewhere.
I mean, so with Cristobal and his mother, I mean, he's nervous about doing it, about meeting his mother for the first
course.
time and being that vulnerable. And I think his focus, he's going to, I think, deflect a lot, at least initially. I think there's going to be a lot of like focus on things like how am I going to deal with Baron Medulon? How am I going to improve myself so I can deal with that? How am I going to help Val in this city? How am I going to get Coco up to snuff? How am I going to protect Otto? Because all of that allows for him to distance himself from the reality of his mother might actually be alive, and how will his mother treat him when he meets her?
Right.
You know, it's a situation where she's been gone for he's 23, so theoretically 20 years and hasn't reached out to him once, hasn't, nothing.
Yeah. It's where do you start? Like there's so many questions. Where do you even start with something like that?
And I do not want to monopolize. Like I feel like the last City of Glass was all about Cristobal and Cristobal's like father relationship and that world, and also Cristobal's like coming to terms with the fact that Baron Medulon was another version of him from another timeline. And I think there's so many interesting stories within the group, and I do not want to monopolize the time. I want to see what's going on with Val. I want to see what's going on with Otto. You know what I mean?
But I hope that you know that it didn't feel that way. Like as a player, it didn't feel like we were like orbiting Cristobal.
And also,
no.
We love drama, buddy. The rest of us are more than happy to just go, Just got
Also, I think Cristobal has one of, I mean, for me, I'm very interested to know like what is up with Cristobal.
yeah.
Like,
Sure.
what is that history? So I'm a little bit like, no, let's find out
That's
more.
that. By the way, the more I play D&D and the more I'm blessed to play with such wonderful people like yourselves, and all the way back to campaign 1, the more I realize one of the traits of every good table is you have to enjoy watching each other. You have to, like, because there you do have to have that kind of patience and sharing and everything. And if Coco's gonna have a moment, like, all of those little one-on-one scenes that happened at the end of last chapter, and when the camera would just cut to the rest of us and we would just be like, go on. We're just having so much fun watching each other roleplay with each other, and it's a blast.
There was this
I love it so
moment
much.
There was this moment when Serena and Josephine were having like a quasi-romantic instance. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like, all
Wait,
three
what
of
is
us were
that?
just like,
Wait, what is that?
That's a Zoom thing because you did a peace sign.
oh, was that what it was?
I've heard about there's these new Zoom interactivity things, or is it a peace sign or no? You did air quotes. Do air quotes, and then I think it's only if you have a.
Aw.
No, it only did it once.
I must have, maybe I said something, but the fact
Balloons.
that the fact that Josephine and Serena had that romantic moment, and then the three of us were just kind of like cuddled in a group, like watching it
Yeah.
on the other side of the
Yep.
table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very funny. Very funny.
It's pretty incredible. But no, I love it so much, and so no, that's very sweet of you to say, Adam, not wanting to monopolize. But yeah, I agree with Carrie. It did not feel like that at all.
Well, no, and I don't think it did either. I honestly, it's less about us as players and more about the audience.
Sure.
Like, I want the audience to be able to, grasp everybody's emotional state, their background, because I think that just makes for a richer story.
Right.
I'm not worried about, just because of the way we
Dominating.
all play. Yeah,
Right.
I don't think that's how what'll ever happen.
Right.
It's more just like, okay, cool. Now you have a piece of Cristobal.
Yeah.
Let's now get a piece of Val. Let's get a piece of Coco,
Well, and I think the more we learn about Riley and Yuri, I think this is also going to be a big seeing what's next for them, because I mean, let's not forget, I mean, we didn't have to chase Megulon through that portal. We could have gone anywhere. And I think definitely it was part of their drive and push to go, we got to go. Like, we cannot let him get away.
Sure.
That raised the stakes for all of us. The made us go like, okay, we gotta go. She's right. Yeah, and so it's there, and I think that actually leads back to Broken Ring as well. There's some folks in chat. If you haven't watched all of the City of Glass chapter yet, I'm going to spoil one or two things, because there's some Broken Ring things that people don't know if you haven't watched all of City of Glass. Someone was just saying this in chat. It is so cool that people have discovered the show through Broken Ring, are now discovering how everything all weaves together. It was like, oh, you got to watch City of Glass to see that, like, what Rhea / Narelle, who that person that Narelle ran away with, what happened to them. I don't know all of it, but I know some things, and Faelshin. But so we have an idea, the audience has an idea about who that is, that when Rhea asked Faelshin in the cave those kind of mysterious questions, are they okay? Where are they? That kind of thing. I think we know who she's talking about in those scenes, but we still don't know. And that was, I'm sorry, I brought this all up because Megulon said their name in that final fight, and that kind of made Rhea go bananas and like try to choke him, literally. So
Wait, I can't remember. Did we not hear that?
I don't think we did, but
okay, I couldn't remember because I know we were like not listening to something.
No, they were
okay.
they were in. That was that. It didn't happen in a secret room, but it happened at the table.
She was phasing.
She was in.
She was phasing.
She was in the what is it? She was blinking in and out, and I'm forgetting the name of the other plane when you're over the ethereal plane. Thank you, Dungeon Speeder.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. By the way, Kitty Scritches has clarified, Adam, Medjalon went through a portal where a water genasi was standing on a cliff. We didn't know
That's what I thought.
we didn't know it was your mom when we saw her. That was probably why
That's what it
was
was.
only later revealed. It wasn't like you saw her and knew that was your mother. It was only revealed as like that person was your mom.
Kitty Scritches, thank you so much. You're completely right. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Like,
so why did we think that was Cristobal's mom?
we were told it was
Yes.
after the fact.
In that,
We saw Baron Medjalon going into a portal that had a water genasi, and
Right.
we all kind of assumed that he was going there for nefarious purposes.
right.
But
Yeah.
we didn't really think beyond that.
And I
And
rolled
then it
really
was
well on a
revealed.
history check to
Right.
realize where it was, and
Right.
then
Okay.
and then Zozezaraz blew all our minds with that conversation,
Right.
where it was like,
Zozezaraz.
yeah, remember that? Yeah, maybe I should just go back and watch the whole Zozezaraz conversation prior to Wednesday. I think I should do that.
It kind of makes me mad that I stopped doing the cut downs, because I really feel like we need the cut downs right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I legit am like, yeah. Yeah.
We'll find some good time codes and all that stuff. But yes,
Right.
yeah, I think if there was a big push to bring back the dungeon rush, we would. I just was getting the sense that not a lot of it's very labor intensive, and was getting a sense that not a lot of people were actually using it.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I think people do enjoy
Except
the
for the
long
players.
form, except for us. True enough. But no, yeah, it's I think people really do enjoy the long form of it, which is nice. Yeah. Now that Kitty Scritches says watching the Zozezaraz conversation would be key. There was so much revealed that it was lore dump overload. I remember.
It's true. I remember that. I
Okay.
remember being like, I need to go back and watch this because there's just so much. I also need to go back and remember how to play an artificer.
Okay, yes. All right. Oh, gosh, I got so many dangling threads. Okay, yeah, because we're level 8 now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Are you 5 levels wizard, 3 levels artificer? Oh. Which means you've got your steel defender. Which
is yep.
Yeah.
My steel defender's coming out. And that's going to be really fun to play, because I've already developed a relationship with my steel defender.
Yeah.
And I'll get to play that, and the humanity of it. It's going to be cool.
I've the Patreon game that I've been running for our amazing patrons, there are 2 artificers with steel defenders in that game, one of them being dungeon speedrun, which is crazy. But yeah, Whisper Josephine says 5 levels wizard, 3 levels artificer, and then she says the name of your podcast equals the name of your podcast, which is bad.
That's true. That's very true.
You've made it very hard on yourself. Artificers, multiclassing anything with artificers is really complex.
Right. Well, I wasn't gonna do it, but
Right.
I blame Ron and Jared.
I mean,
like they threw lumber at me,
they
and I'm
threw
like,
lumber
well,
at
it makes
you.
complete sense.
That's for sure. Even though, man,
That's what I was thinking too.
totally.
Harry, you're Ranger, right? You're a
Straight
level 8
Ranger, level 8, yeah.
and you're a straight level 8 fighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted that Dragonhide feat, so I took it.
Oh, totally.
Did you take another feat at level 8, Carrie? I don't remember.
I'd have to go back and look. I gotta brush up this week.
we got some brushing up to do. It's fine.
I definitely am like, oh right, I'm switching gears back to yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the other thing I was gonna say? So yeah, one is definitely levels and just getting back to our character sheets and having fun with that. That'll be amazing. I forgot what the other dangling thread was. Nope, it's gone. It'll come back to me. Oh no, of course. Speaking of lore drop, let us not forget how the last episode ended, where we were on our way and then we seemed to get sideswiped and are now in a different place, at least for a moment, with someone who's calling themselves the messenger of the Keeper of Secrets. which
I don't remember this at all.
it was very
Wait, what?
fast at the end of the last episode. It was Ron leaving us on a ledge, and that might be bigger for me and for the community than for you guys who weren't in campaign 1. The Keeper of Secrets is Lord Ereban, our amazing illithid host. Now Morgan knows that. Val has no idea who that is.
Okay.
So when I just heard Keeper of Secrets, it's like, what? I don't know exactly what Ron has planned for this little interlude, but I know he's been waiting to do it, waiting to have this conversation with this table. That was because you were not able to make our last episode of the last chapter, Adam. And I think
Right.
Ron wanted to at least have part of that conversation, but he's like, I need everybody. And I was like, okay. It's like, let's just cliffhanger it, and then we'll have the conversation when we start up the next one. Yeah, I don't know what's coming there, but that's a big, don't forget about that. The Keeper of Secrets, Lord Ereban, is, I mean, he's a mind flayer. But not necessarily evil. He's pretty neutral. In campaign 1, he was literally the Keeper of Secrets. He was employed by the big Dragonborn dynasty of Ain to extract and keep the biggest secret of the entire continent. And no pressure. And he kept it for 300 years. And basically, so literally, like, it just the amount of secrets, the amount of the amount of power that he has. There is literally an episode near the end of campaign 1 that is 4 hours of the table having a conversation with Lord Ereban and just getting our minds blown and asking questions. And it's one of my favorite episodes of the whole campaign. I think the audience was losing their minds. And at the end of the day, it was literally just a 4-hour conversation. There was no action. I think we rolled like twice. It was,
wow.
Yeah. So Lord Ereban is not to be trifled with. He's not a bad guy. I wouldn't necessarily call him a good guy, though, but I don't think we're in for a fight. I just think we're probably in for getting our minds blown.
He's a mind flayer.
He's a mind flayer. He does eat brains, but I think he's mostly cool about it.
The cool brains.
Cool mind flayers. They're fine. They're chill. I don't know. So don't forget that we got that coming for us right at the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch the last 30 to 40 minutes of the last episode. I have to.
Just, the beautiful end to Jeremy, Laramie, and the whole family.
Oh, you're talking about that rip.
That happened at the very end of that.
That makes sense. Okay, my apologies, because I was thinking of the very end of our interaction with Zozezera.
No. Yeah, it was so much happened at the end of the Zozezera's conversation where we went through the portal we slept and then
we didn't go anywhere.
We
fell asleep.
That's correct.
We fell asleep. We didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
That's right. But at the end of the last chapter, it was on our way through the portal, something happened and we were transported to a strange place, and this strange character calling themselves the messenger of the Keeper of Secrets.
Interesting.
Yeah. I cannot guess. I don't know what's about to happen there. But the other big thing, the big thing that got decided while we were gone was City of Glass is still around, I believe. That was the vote, and that was where it landed. Which
because my father, because they're playing with the idea that my father is still dead.
Correct. Mixed news for Cristobal.
Right, exactly.
It wasn't gonna be all good or all bad for Cristobal either way, which was really interesting for Ron to give that to the audience, to the watchers of the time stream, because it was literally like, what would be better? Your dad is alive, but doesn't remember all of the amazing, conversations you've had with him.
The Jesus moments, yeah.
Right. Or he stays in the astral plane, but he remembers everything. I mean, that's oof. Boy, that's the other. God, Val's got so much, guys. Who killed Val's dad? Or if anybody killed Val's dad might have just died of natural causes and just might have died of the stress of his fam. But he definitely died of somewhat mysterious circumstances.
Well, you want to hear something messed up, Val? You got pulled out of your your time with Strix and your sister, and you got taken to you don't know what time.
I know.
So you could come back and your dad may be alive.
Yeah, I might have my mind blown. He could be alive, or it could be years later. It could be, hey, it's a raid from 16-bit Eric. Thanks, Eric. It's good to see you.
Hey, Eric.
Thanks for dropping in. That's Eric Campbell. He's the best. Is a ttrpg aficionado and fantastic person. Give them a follow if you don't. But yeah, all kinds of real good content over there. Thanks, everybody.
Have Cristobal and Val bonded over their father stuff?
Not yet.
Dudes don't do that. No, that's not true. I legit have done that with dudes. It's like, oh, dead dad, yeah, dead dad.
Well, I think there's
Dead Dad Club.
there hasn't been time.
Dead Dad Club. Yeah.
Sorry,
I don't think there's been time.
It's
Like
real.
now Cristobal is going to be a number 2 to Val in this city, and I think there's going to be more opportunity for that.
Though, I mean, it was funny you were talking about needing to hide Otto. I think Val, I was thinking about this before we started. I think Val will probably want to be incognito as well, because especially, well, he, as I said, he had a glow up. He's all shiny Dragonborn now. But last time I walked into town, I was recognized immediately, and it felt like I was being watched immediately. And so it was like, I think the less of that we can have, the better.
Well, I feel like there's 2 ways to play it, right? Like, I think we could do that. We could do the stealthy thing, or we could go in at an 11. Like, we just come into town, like,
so go a Prince Ali route, basically, riding an elephant in a parade. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, because there's strength in that. There's a lot of strength in that.
Chances are, whatever you tell Otto and maybe even Coco, they're probably gonna. It's even if they try to be stealthy,
right?
I don't know that, especially Otto. Otto's gonna be like, I'm gonna be so quiet, and then just immediately just like crash into
the glass shop. No, the thing with Cristobal,
an owl in a glass shop.
Right, Cristobal is always hidden in plain sight.
Right,
like that's how he's always played it. He's always played it like, I have no secrets. This is Cristobal. Let me be as loud as possible so everyone's looking at me.
Yeah.
So they're looking at this hand and they're not looking at the other hand.
Well, and I don't think we all need to be. I don't think we all need to be stealthy. I just think maybe a group of us under a saying we're somebody we're not, and Val's got a mask or a hood on, and probably Otto's hidden under some blankets or something.
I mean,
like we're trying to cross the Canadian border. It's fine.
I think, like, again, for Cristobal, the idea is going to be, look, we can have secrets, which would be like Val's back, Otto's an animus, or we could have no secrets,
right?
Which means they don't have weapons against us. And that's Cristobal's argument. Now, don't get me wrong. We're going to role play this, and we'll see how it goes.
We could be targets immediately, though, if you do that.
We're going to be targets immediately no matter what.
You're not wrong.
Just in a different way. You know what I mean? And again, this is just Cristobal's thinking.
Fashion.
Because fashion.
Because people see Cristobal and immediately hate him. It's true.
Well, because if we roll in, right, and
fashion targets.
Val, and we use Val, and we're like, Val's back, we're going to get attacked. Not like necessarily physically, but politically we'll be attacked. If we go in and we hide Val, and he's discovered, which he eventually will be.
Sure.
Now we're getting attacked in a different way.
I might argue that it's okay if we reveal ourselves, at some point, but at least until we get the lay of the land. What year is it? Who's alive? Who's dead? Then we can kind of let's at least figure out where we are with certain things before we go all Prince Ali on it.
Totally. I totally get it.
Yeah, that's my argument for that. Let's at least get to Val's house, see who's home, see what time it is, and see if we broke curfew, and then we can play it from there. Because I don't disagree with you. You're giving more people weapons against you if you're trying to remain hidden. Boy, good call.
But again, this is what Cristobal's argument was going to be, and again, he doesn't necessarily have to be right. It's just that's how he thinks.
Sure.
So,
What does the audience think? You think we should go in stealth mode, or
I
you think
know.
we should just
Yeah,
bust
what do you
in?
guys
that would
think?
be a great.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. Put
That would
a.
be
We should put
great.
a poll up.
I
Yeah,
was
put a
saying,
poll
Yeah,
up.
I'll
we
put
should.
something. I'll put something. I'm not
Yeah.
real good at the polls. I think Angel isn't here today. But what do you think, guys? Throw it up in chat if you think we should
Don't
go.
talk about yourself like that, Morgan.
Thanks, I'm
You're
not-
great at poll work.
Yeah, poll work.
Whoa.
Isn't that how you made it through college? No, is that not?
Jessica Lynn Parsons very good at the poll work. Me not so
Morgan
much.
on the main stage.
No. See if Dungeon Speedrun wants me to see if Eddie's around first. Eddie, deep cut Dungeon Speedrun. Eddie is the cousin that Val stabbed
Yeah.
before he ran off.
That'll be fun.
Wait, the one that he was in the duel with?
Yep.
Wait, the cousin?
I did not kill him. I did not kill him. I just straight up
No,
stabbed
but like I thought it was
Strix's cousin.
I guess I didn't. Strix's. Okay, I was like, I thought it was...
Not his cousin. Strix's cousin.
Okay.
The ASMR cousin.
Gotcha. That's what I thought.
And I think we saw, to be clear, someone asked earlier, what's the name of the place they're going again? We're going, it's technically called the Tri-City area, and I don't remember all the names of the cities, but the Dragonborn area specific, it's named after Val's family. It's called Lunaris. And it's on the Isle of Megas.
Uno, dos, and tres.
Tri-Cities. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the ASMR like city, the Dragonborn city, and the Gith. So you have those three kind of factions, sometimes allying, sometimes not. But yeah, and that's the other thing too, is I don't know, as Val has said many times, his reputation is not great. So even though Val could show up like a kind of conquering hero, I mean, some people will certainly not be fans of his when he returns. So yeah.
But it's better to know who your enemies are.
True.
You've also been around the rest of us, so you have a lot more charm and understanding now. Your communication skills have gotten they've just grown exponentially.
And you've got Cristobal. He'll be your Cyrano de
hype
Bergerac,
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can send Slushy along with you. Everybody loves a cuddly puppy.
Betty loves
That's
a cuddly winter wolf.
A giant cuddly puppy.
God.
Everybody
I
loves
mean,
that.
that's an entrance, though. You riding in on Slushy's back would be an entrance.
Hello.
Would be pretty good.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, it's me.
Whoa.
And we're 20 years in the past. It's Back to the Future. Maybe that's what Ron's planning, because Ron is just planning a big Back to the Future.
Where's Biff?
What I was going to ask when we were talking about not knowing the timeline,
Yeah.
is it possible that we would be somehow going... Okay, so that is possible.
Maybe.
I mean,
okay.
Zozezraz isn't the astral dragon, but there seems to be a lot of elements of time going on. Well, okay, wait, but no, hang on. So at least we have a little bit, because if Cristobal's mother is there, that gives us at least a window.
You don't know if she's been my mother yet.
Yeah, but wouldn't she be... You're right. It's not that much, but it seemed like she. You're right. That's presupposing that she came here only after having you.
I will also make the argument, though, that we did go to the Hanging Gardens. We did see Saint's sister, and she had been missing already.
No, that's
so
right. That that was implied. Basically, that was actually said. Where for Saint, she'd only been gone a couple weeks.
Right. So I don't know. Ron created like an all-powerful, deity.
Zozezraz can do whatever the heck he wants.
Whatever he wants. So Ron may just feel like messing with us and be like, "You're all toddlers at this point."
I don't think it can be.
It'll be like Muppet Babies. We'll be going back to Muppet Babies. That'll be fun.
But we're level 8 still.
Level 8 Muppet Babies.
Level 8 Muppet Babies.
Amazing.
Yeah, okay. There are things actually that I think if we're chasing Medulon, it's impossible to know. It's impossible to know.
You don't know. We'll find out on Wednesday.
It's possible. Anything sounds possible right now.
Exactly.
Right. But like Gonzalo knew things about Val's family in the City of Glass. And so if we're continuing on that linear timeline, then that seemed to be, it can't have been too far. I think it will still be that it'll be post Val's leaving. I just don't know how post.
Sure.
It's impossible to
Sure.
tell until we see.
What if you'd only been gone for like an hour?
An hour.
Great.
That would
That'd be
almost be
amazing.
worse.
Yeah.
It's literally,
You just left.
You just
walked away.
You just blew up in a weird, like, divine tornado in the front yard with your ex, and now you just show back up an hour later. Whoops.
No, you're outside of town and in? What the?
Maybe we shouldn't be giving Ron this idea. I don't like it. It's there. That would be terrible.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be
Weirdly,
amazing.
that's, I think, the worst case scenario. Because no one's had any time to cool down.
Right?
But he's like, you idiot! Like, what did I do? This god took me and then I look different. It's like, really, in an hour?
Yep.
That would be the worst.
Interesting defense. Yeah.
Dungeon Speedrun says, wow, I'm really struggling to map the heroes onto their Muppet Baby personas. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Less thought about that, the better, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, Otto kind of already is a Muppet Baby, let's be honest.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh man, part of me wants. I get that you're on this artificer path, but boy, there's some real great wizard spells at 4th and 5th level, buddy.
So here's the thing, and I'm gonna role play this. Cristobal has never used those spells.
Right.
And he probably views those spells as extremely dangerous.
Sure.
So he's going to go looking for them because he needs them.
All right, good.
But, like, again, it's going to be like, hey, do you know anyone who deals in this kind of magic?
Anybody know Fireball around here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
I think a lot of
You're
people
looking
who
for
play...
a dealer. I love
Yeah,
it.
basically.
Magic
Because a
You're
lot
like,
of people...
Hey man, you got like a hookup.
You're actually going to the right neighborhood for it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's one thing about the Tri-City area is everybody's involved in like magic production a little bit.
Right. But you're talking about spell, like if look up the stats for Fireball, Kari. Like it's huge. It's a massive spell. And I don't believe right. And I don't believe that every wizard who's even level 6 or 7 has that spell or wants to even mess with that spell.
True.
So it's going to be a lot of fun to role play. Like, so who would I talk to if I want to like destroy a city block? Does anyone have anyone who destroys city blocks?
Or does anybody know where I can practice something?
Yeah.
But Gossip King Cristobal, I mean, you don't get scry till 5th level, but still, how do you not want scrying on somebody?
Oh no! Again, it's one of those things where there are. And that's the thing that actually we talked about this with Jared. I talked about this with Jared offline when I was like starting to level up my wizard. He's like, well, you got to take this and you got to take that. And I'm like, I would never, Cristobal would never take those spells.
Jared's
like,
a little power. Jared can certainly be, you can count on him. He'll always validate it with character, which is the best thing about Jared, but he likes to power game.
Yeah, he does.
Civ Red Thistle by the end of the campaign would just annihilate people. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 45 points of damage. You're like, what?
Yeah. And we have muscle in the group. We got you. We got Coco. We've got even Otto. Like with Otto's backstab, like
backstab plus wherever he's going to keep going it with sorcerer. And I mean, let's not, a level 8 cleric is nothing to be messed with.
No joke.
Yeah.
No joke. Yeah.
So you're kind of you're kind of the James of this campaign, because I was so impractical that I was just filling slots of like, all right, we got this, what do we need? So I learned sending so I could be the telephone of the group, basically. Sure. And I learned all these little things. I learned speak with the dead so that we can talk to every corpse that we met, stuff like that. I looked at what we needed and just filled in.
Yeah, I'm totally down to be a support character. It's one of the reasons I took Steel Defender.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just means that, like, if we ever tried to do a battle royal, I would be eliminated immediately.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's so true. Oh my gosh. Well, we're running out of time here, friends. I think we answered all of our questions. Let me make sure. Oh gosh, Chapardos, I missed one of yours. How do you think your characters are going to cope with what they went through in the bodies of Research Unit 7 during their teleport? That's the other thing to remember, is we all definitely remember what happened to Research Unit 7. Well remembered, Chapardos. I'd forgotten that they were called that.
I don't even, what?
That's Jeremy and Laramie, and that's what we were called. The family, Maddie and oh gosh, I'm forgetting Ria's Josephine's character's name, and Grandpa.
Pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
How do you think we're going to cope with what we went through? I mean, I think it's still just so many questions, but it's like trying to tie some things together and how it relates.
Yeah, especially if the idea is that we occupied these bodies and these personas led to our current persona. Like, it's just gonna be fun to play with role play wise.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's so true. So much. There's so many dangling threads, friend. Alessandra, well remembered, Black Akari. Nicely done. Alessandra. That's
Nice.
right. Yes, that's my wife's name. I should remember that. I'm so sorry, honey.
That's why I didn't want you to marry her. I knew that you were not worth her time.
Jeez. That was. I am glad we got a nice, somewhat romantic ending for Alessandra and Matthias. That was nice.
That's true.
Even though, yeah, that was rough. Yeah, just getting blown up like an atomic explosion, kind of. Oh, you watched it yesterday. Perfect. Yeah, so much, and we're gonna learn a lot so fast. Friends, have a wonderful Halloween tomorrow. Watch some scary movies. Always down for that. Support striking SAG-AFTRA. Be safe.
Yes.
SAG-AFTRA still on strike. I'm trying to get out the picket line tomorrow. Yes, good stuff, friends. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you Wednesday night for the return of, I keep saying Stormborn. We're not the Stormborn anymore. We're not even really the Moonborn anymore. We got to figure out a name.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
Pitch us name.
Oh, by the way, so our text chain, you guys, is it's a, what was it?
Currently without a deity born is what we're called. We've had our two sponsors left. So now, and just, I mean, yeah, something like the Final Timeline. That's a real pretentious name, because we're the Final Timeline. Yes, Tapardo says you are the whatever born you need to be. That would be kind of like our party to color says we're the whatever born.
Yeah, right.
We're the whatever born.
Whatever born. Yeah. All right. Love you guys. Love you, chat. We will see you soon. See you Wednesday night. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks, friends. Humankind.
Be
both.
Bye. There are the balloons again. It happened. There we go.
Wait,
right.
Did you do this? What'd you do?
What did you do? You did. Nope. We'll figure it out. Oh, there it happened again. It's the peace sign. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.